Hello everyone. Today I'm going to start a little video series about this. Got myself a Crosman 1322 last week. I'll be using it in its carbine configuration. So what I wanted to do was start this video with it in its complete stock setup. So before I start modifying, that's what this series is going to be about. Step-by-step modification and its improvements that each modification gives to this gun. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to start off with just doing some crony testing and then some 15-yard grouping. I'm going to test, I've already done some preliminary testing and determined that this gun, I've only used two types of pellets in it so far, and it likes both of them. Crosman Premier hollow points and the Crosman pointed pellets that came with the gun. Both of those are 14.3 grain, and from what I could tell so far, they both group the same out of this pistol. So I'm going to do crony testing with both to see if there's any difference between the two, and I've already got it sighted in with the hollow points, so we're going to use those for grouping. And then I've got my little spinners set out at 15 yards. After I do a group set, I will just shoot some shots at the spinners. Alright, so first part is just crony testing at 10 pumps is all I'm going to do, because that's what I plan on using it as, which is the maximum recommended in the owner's manual. So 10 pumps across the crony with CPHPs and pointed pellets, both from Crosman at 14.3 grains. Right, let's get started. Right, here we go. 10 shots with the pointed pellets, 14.3 grain. Alright, now 10 shots with Crosman Premier hollow points. Okay, there we go. 10 shots with pointed and hollow points. Raw data, looks like they're both pretty much the same, which is what I expected. I mean that they're the same grain, weight. I didn't think the design of the pellet was going to affect that much. Though it does look like CPHPs may have produced a slightly higher velocity. Which is fine, that's the pellet I want to use anyway. Alright, I'll move on to the next. I'm going to set up a target and do some grouping. Alright, here we go. Do some shot grouping. I'm going to go for the center target on the paper. The wind is varying. I don't have a wind meter, but my weather app says it's 10 to 15 miles per hour. So I'm just going to hold center, fire each time when it feels like the wind is about right, and see what we get. I've got it set up in carbine with the peep sight. Alright, there's a few shots. Let's go take a closer look. Now, the wind varied greatly. The first shot was fast. One shot that started out was maybe 5 miles per hour. 5. So in the highly variable winds, there is a group. I'm going to do the redo the grouping at my 20-yard target in my basement. So let's just skip ahead and shoot the spinners a couple of times. Just Alright, here we go. Wind still 15-20 miles an hour and a little gusty. So according to my calculator, it's supposed to be an inch hold to the right. Let's see if I can do that with this stock peep sight. There we go, 6 for 7 at 15 yards. Alright, well this will be a long shot for this gun, I mean literally. 50 yards. Probably won't be able to see them. I'm just gonna listen for the ping. But calculation says that at 50 yards and with this kind of wind, I'm going to need a 21.8 vertical hold. So I'm going to be holding 21, almost 22 inches above the targets. And another 21.2 inches to the right. So this is a long shot, but I'll try a few shots at the 50-yard target to see what I can get. Let's see if I can guess this range right. Let's see, hold is about right there. Got it! Shooting for the one on the right side. Alright, well, one. Like I said, long shot. 20-ish mile per hour winds and 50 yards with a peep sight and a front post. With over 21 inches of vertical and horizontal hold. Yeah, figured that'd be pretty pretty tough to hit. Alright, so next part I'll just go ahead into my basement and shoot at my inside target to get some decent groupings going on. Alright, see you later. I need to interrupt the video now. I forgot to tell you the purpose of my modifying of this gun. I want to get it between 12 and 15 foot-pounds and keeping it as short as possible. So I'm going to try to do that without even changing the barrel. I want it 12 to 15. I'm thinking about using this for my backseat gun for picking up rabbits on my way home from work this winter. So I want it small, compact, and 12 to 15 foot-pounds so I can easily take a rabbit at 20 to 30 yards with it. So that's it. Just want to clarify that. 12 to 15 foot-pounds, which I need to get the thing moving 14.3 grain pellets, what I'm using right now, between 614 and 687 feet per second, which I think is doable with the standard barrel that comes on it. Just have to see. I might have to get a slightly longer one, but hopefully not. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, let's try some 20-yard grouping down in the basement. I'm going to do all 5 targets, 5 shots each. Alright, let's go get some measurements and see what we're doing. I can already tell from now these groups aren't that great, but I think it's partly my environment. My basement range is not lit very well. All the lighting I've got is, the target is illuminated with a shop light I've got sitting on the floor, which causes a nice dark shadow on the wall behind the target. Kind of see it down along the edges of the box. And my above lights are coiled compact fluorescents, and they are giving off a good bit of glare, which when using a peep sight isn't helpful. The sight's much clearer outside where there's even lighting than it is here in my basement. So I'm going to shoot more groups off camera when I have decently calm days where I can get some good environment outside to shoot. But let's go measure those and see what we got here. Okay, so there we go. First one came out 1.604, second one 0.771 inches, third one 1.171, fourth 1.598, and the fifth at 1.231. So, yeah, I think it's partly due to my environment not letting me see the sights very well. Because before I did any camera work, I did outside in the breeze. I think it was before I did camera work. Anyway, I was outside 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze at 15 yards, and I got dime-sized groups. I don't think an extra 5 yards would make the groups open up that much more. So I'm just thinking it was my shooting today. But we'll see later on in other environmental, when I get outside with better lighting, or when I attach a scope after I attach the steel breech. Alright, it's to follow up those groups I did earlier in the video. This one and this one I did with front and rear rests with my Caldwell rest. There's the back end, front end hidden behind my camera bag. Anyway, yeah, that group here in the middle and this group here in the top right was with using front and rear rests on that. Then I shot this group just using the front rest. Let's see, it's barely the size of my fingertip. So this is standard rule paper. You can get an idea of what it is. I didn't measure these. I didn't bring my calipers out with me. Just decided to shoot these before I shot the next part of the video series. So, and the wind is 5 to 10 miles per hour. These first two groups, that was a gust, that was a gust. So, it's grouping pretty good for me right now. Just wanted to show you those groups before moving on. Alright, see you later.